co-host together with my colleague.
Hello, Diane.
Diane Ducharme. Welcome to another edition of Talking Points. It's great to be here, and I just want to first start off and express our thoughts and prayers for all the individuals living on the southwest or the west coast of Florida who are dealing with the wrath and destruction of Hurricane Ian. And we're wishing everyone the best, and hopefully everyone is staying safe. So how's it going, Diane?
It's going pretty good over here in Maryland.
Excellent.
How is it in Florida?
It's not too bad. Where I am in South Florida, it's sunny, broken clouds, and just a little bit windy. But want to welcome everyone. It's great to see so many familiar faces, a lot of new faces out there, and it's great to see the BlindShell community continue to grow. I do want to also mention a couple of things that we are monitoring the chat. The chat should be open, or you can post in a Q&A. We will monitor both of those platforms. Of course, you can also raise your hand, and we will do our best to call upon you. Additionally, I want to also mention that we did have a handful of questions from the previous session. I'm happy to say that we got a lot of them resolved, and we've reached out to those individuals who had those questions, and hopefully that's been able to provide with some additional insight as far as your ease of use and using your BlindShell Classic too. So, Diane, what's on your mind today?
Okay, well, I wanted to bring up something that was asked by one of our users, and I checked that she is on the call. So if anybody could help one of our users with getting the lanyard on her phone. So I know it comes with a little tool, but does anybody have any good tips on how they got the lanyard on their phone?
That is a great way to kick things off. It's I know some people may find it to be a simple process, and we do have a hand. I'm going to bring Belle on and allow Belle to talk.
And Belle was the second person I was going to call on, so it's good she's on.
Belle, go ahead. Welcome. Belle?
So, Belle, if you're on a cell phone, when it says,
okay.
Oh, there she is.
Hey.
Hey.
Welcome to Talking Points. Thank you so much for joining us.
I know
I'm
she had
sorry,
problems
I keep
last
forgetting
week, so
about that. I have to press the button on my microphone, and so that's what happened. I unmuted, and then I just forgot to press the button on the microphone. Okay, so I have to admit something. I got sighted help. I couldn't do anything with it, and now that helps a lot. She probably, whoever this person is, may not have anyone around, which I had to call my cousin, and she came over and helped me, with that lanyard. And it's a little heavy, around my neck, but it's good to carry around the house, and while I'm doing various things, and working in the kitchen and so on. So yeah. Okay. All right.
So the other thing I wanted to ask Belle about is she could tell everybody about the listen factor.
All right, the listen factor. I don't have I don't have the email, but maybe someone will or has it on who's on the line, who's on Zoom. But they have all kind of interesting things. They have sitcom soundtracks and TV dramas and movie soundtracks and radio family comedy, past and present. And they have TV and older westerns, Western frontier life soundtracks, and all kind of things. And it says past and future meet with sci-fi fantasy. And then another one is, and these are channels, and this would be on well, on the Victor Reader, which we're not talking about, but this is where I first found Listen
Mhm.
Factor. But it is on the BlindShell. You have to go into your browser and type in the listenfactor.com. And then you can get, it may have a way to get emails, and you can get the schedule.
Mhm.
And comes out, and every weekend there's a bunch of movies that you can watch over the weekend, and a marathon. So like, I think I remember one, I Love Lucy was on, and I mean, just one right after the other. And then they have TV and movie soundtracks, old time radio on there, and dramas, and just all kind of things like that. It's just super.
Yeah,
And
so Belle had posted it in the list. So I went on, I did exactly what she said. I went into the internet browser, I typed in the listenfactor.com, and it was really easy to use. You just use the navigation buttons to scroll down. And like she said, there was all those categories. I clicked on the old time radio ones, and yeah, it started playing some show. And so I thought that. Now, Belle, do you know, is it showing on the screen as well, or is it just the audio track?
probably just the audio, but
Okay.
and then the movies are described. Some of them are described.
Mhm.
Maybe a lot of them. I don't. But I mean, it will tell you whether it's described or not, I think. Well, you'll be able to know, of course, but I mean, in
Yeah.
the schedule that Denise Thompson is the one who sends out the schedules, I think most of the time. Now, there's a team of people, and I'm not sure who all is involved with it. If there's somebody out there that knows a little more that can chime in, feel free to. But it's wonderful. And it's so neat that it's on BlindShell. I didn't even think about it, but for some reason my Victor Reader was acting up, and I don't know why, but anyway, I said, I want to see if this is on BlindShell, and that's how I found it and listened to the rest of the Queen Elizabeth's funeral.
Oh, really? That was on
Queen
there too?
Elizabeth,
Okay.
or maybe it was, yeah, I think it was her funeral. And so it's just, I'm not even scratching the surface, and I'm so sorry about that.
That's okay.
Somebody needs
So
to come in
everybody-
here and help me.
Yeah, everybody check it out. Go to the list. Is it thelistenfactor.com?
Yes,
The
thelistenfactor.com.
Mhm.
Thelistenfactor.com.
Yeah, so it's another thing that you could do with the BlindShell. And yeah, I thought it was pretty cool myself. So thank you.
Yes. And if I can get the information, I'll have it on about the email.
Okay.
Where she can send you can subscribe to the schedule, and she'll
Okay.
send you all kinds of things.
All right, sounds good. All right, thank you.
Thank you,
All
Belle.
right. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm going to bring on Terry now. And I do want to also mention that we do have the updates that we're going to share with everyone here momentarily. And I think some of them are some great updates. So, Terry, you are good to go.
Were you talking to me?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, about the
Welcome.
listen factor. Hi, thank you.
Mhm.
About the listen factor, I listen to it all the time. When I had my Victor Reader stream, I would listen to it on it, but right now I don't have one. And so I
Mhm.
listen to it from uTunes every week, but it is nice to know that you can get it on the BlindShell Classic 2 phone as well.
Yeah.
That's great. And
Yeah,
I like to listen to it on Mondays. They have Medical Monday on one of the channels where they have nothing but medical shows on there. And then they have the sci-fi shows on another channel. So I have to choose if I'm going to listen to a medical show or a sci-fi show.
So it
So,
sounds like they have something on there for everyone.
Yes, and like the other lady said, they do have the weekend marathons and everything.
Okay.
And she chooses a marathon theme for every week.
Mhm.
And people, I guess they can send in requests and let her know, suggest to her what marathon they would like to have, on there. It comes on, channel 4 every weekend, and there's 8 channels that you can choose from.
Okay.
So
All right.
that's how that works.
All right.
Thank you so much, Terry.
So yeah, I'm sorry, my phone was just going off my ear, so I didn't hear the end of that. But thanks, Terry. That's great. I'm so glad that we discovered this so that people can enjoy it on the Blind Shell.
Absolutely. I also want to just remind everyone that talking points that we are posting all of the recordings. They are available on our website, blindshellusa.com. You can go to the footer. You will see under the support center, there's a link there called Talking Points, and that will take you right to where all the previous live streams are. So or you can go to blindshellusa.com/talking points, TALKINGPOINTS, and that will bring you to all the previous recordings.
Yeah, so Barry, I'm glad you brought that up because there was an issue with that. People couldn't find it on the website, but they went to YouTube and found it.
Yes, so you can go to YouTube as well under the BlindShell USA channel, and you can put that into the search, and you will also. So basically, all the live streams get uploaded to YouTube first, and then they get linked over and put on the site. So, and if anyone out there wants to share talking points on their website or just wants to distribute, feel free to do so. The more information we can get out there that provide a greater experience for our users, we're happy for you to share it. So thank you.
Okay.
So Diane, you want to jump into some of those new features that are going to be appearing on your BlindShell next week, as in October 3rd? Would you like me to go through them?
Well, let me get to that. Okay, so these will be coming out next week. From what I understand, it's going to be a push to everybody's phone. Okay, so we'll start with internet radio. They're going to make it possible, yeah, to browse all stations.
Not only your top 100, so you're gonna have the ability to browse all stations with an improved sorting into categories. And I think that's going to be fantastic and make things a lot easier.
So the checklist is going to be out so that you can create lists. And the cool thing about the checklist is you can then check them off as you've completed the task. So say it's a your grocery list, and as you put it in the cart, you can check it off so that you can see what's been done and what still needs to be done.
That's very cool, actually. I like that.
So there's going to be another application for storing like your loyalty cards and QR codes. And then there's going to be some changes to the email, some updates.
Yeah, I think it's going to be
so for support for more attachments, for some HTML links. There's actually something on here, I'm not sure what it means. So Michael, I think you're out there, if you could possibly, if you know what support for email honor would be.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and bring Michael on. We just, our colleagues.
We just got this, so this is hot off the presses for us too.
Yeah, so yeah, it's hard. I think
And
we
Google Workspace, Honor, Michael, I know you asked about that, so if you could explain those.
yeah, Michael, I'm gonna ask you just to unmute yourself. So
Oh,
how are you,
hello,
Michael?
Barry and
Hello.
Diane. How are the two of you guys?
We are doing great.
Pretty good.
Glad to hear that. So I don't know what email honor is. Now I got to really look that up. That sounds super curious, but I am excited about Google Workspace support, which for those who don't know, this is so right now, if you sign into your Gmail email specific.
Oh, I'm sorry, Michael. I just cut you off. Hold on. Sorry about that. Michael,
Oh, is
coming
that
back.
how we're going to
Sorry
play
about
today,
that.
Barry?
Sorry about that. I meant to hit lower hand, and I removed your permission to talk. So I apologize about
That's
that.
okay. That's okay. I bet my wife wishes she had that ability sometimes. So.
You mean, no, wait. Is there an off button for Michael? Nobody ever told me.
well, Barry found it. But what I was saying is, if you sign into your Gmail email right now, currently, you're taken to that web page, and it asks you to enter your password and then to authenticate the fact that, or to allow the fact that the BlindShell can use the Gmail email.
Thunderbird, yeah.
Yep. And that changed just before the 1st of June. But the problem was for the longest time people using Google Workspace, which is typically in small businesses or larger organizations where they pay Google for access to Google services and you don't have advertisements. That sign-in process was not working unless you had like a beta version of the email account. And so I'm super glad to hear that this is fixed, because that means I can set up my work email on the BlindShell now. And I don't know what that other email product is. I'll have to look into that.
Yeah, we believe, and again, our colleagues are over in the Czech Republic, and we apologize we couldn't get clear confirmation on this. But we believe that support for additional emails is what this is referring to. Support for HTML formatted messages. We talk about Google Workspace, and also improve support for attachments. So overall, the email client on the BlindShell Classic 2 is going to be significantly improved by next week.
Is this also bringing the multi-email accounts as well? Do we know?
We believe this is what it is, but we're going to hopefully get some clarification. Sorry, we can't give it a 100% confirmation just yet, but we know that is in the works as well. So stay tuned.
So, Michael, do you have any tips on getting that little lanyard on?
Nope, because I haven't used the lanyard.
Okay.
So, yeah, unfortunately, I don't. I would have raised my hand earlier.
Okay.
Great.
All right.
So, Michael, you feel free to stay on. I'm going to bring on Robert. Robert wants to come on, raised his hand, and Mike will be our honorary co-host as well.
Zoom webinar. Are you calling on me?
Yes, we are.
Yes.
Thank you very
You're
much.
welcome.
My first question, I have two. The first is much easier. My first question is much more easily answered than the second. And I may have to refer it to Michael, but the second one, what menu do I go in to set an alarm?
Great question.
So you would go into applications and then go
Okay.
into tools.
Okay.
And then the first one is alarm.
Okay. I wasn't going into tools. It's like I can't figure out where to go from there.
Now, the one thing you need to know about the alarm is it uses the military time.
Oh, it does. Oh, okay. Oh, my. Okay.
No.
I'll have to brush up on that. I don't remember how to do that.
Quick amendment to that. It uses the military time to input the time, but then it will give you standard time when you're reading your alarms.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So if I know what military time I'm putting in, then it
Right.
straightens it out.
Just so we know, like obviously, the AM hours are, starting, let's say from like 0100 as in 1 a.m. right?
Yes.
And you get to
Mhm.
11 a.m. 12, and then 12 p.m., and then it goes 13, 14, 15,
Right.
so on and so forth. As in 16 would be 4 o'clock.
Okay.
And so on.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
always,
basically.
I used to be a transcriptionist and used to know that kind of stuff, but since I haven't used it in about 10 years, you forget how to do that stuff. But yeah, I understand it. I remember what that's all about. It's as clear as mud now. So
yeah.
Okay.
I'm good with that. The
Awesome.
second question I'd kind of like to see, Mike, we talked earlier in the week, and I need to know, with my issue on email, do you think it would be better for me to go, if they could help me at the AT&T store to help me do that? There seems to, I don't know if they could really help me over the phone. I cannot remember Mike tried to help me enter my password, and everything we tried wouldn't work because I have it on my computer and I never have to enter it. So
Mhm.
I guess what I thought it was is not. And Mike tried to help me with that a couple different times and we couldn't figure out. So he said, well, when we get it figured out, when you figure out what it is, would they be able to help me at the store? I really don't think they'd be able to help me over the phone because they would probably tell me, well, we don't know your email password. So how can we,
So
we don't know how, they don't keep records of that, I don't think. So if anybody has any ideas,
So, Robert,
let me know. Otherwise, I just won't tether my phone to my email.
you have cox.net email, correct?
Pardon?
Who's your email provider? What's your email again?
Outlook.
Outlook. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, you can reach out. Give me a call and I'll go over a couple of options with you.
Okay.
Yeah,
Because
because there should be an I forgot my password thing, right?
I
Yeah.
can't, well, like I said, I can't remember my I don't have to enter it. I can't remember the last time I had to re-enter it for my computer.
And I think you actually might need to create an app-specific password. So we'll do some experimentation and figure out what exactly is going on.
Okay,
So give me a call tomorrow morning and we'll set it up.
Okay, I may have, are you going to be there next week? I'm
Yep.
kind of booked up tomorrow, but
Yep.
if you're there, when are you?
10 to 2
I know your
Eastern, all
hours,
next week.
so what days are you planning to be there?
All next week.
All right, I will thank you much for your patience too, Mike, and all your help.
Thank you, Robert.
Diana too. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
You're welcome. I just want, but we have a bunch of hands that are raised and we're going to do our best to get to each one of them. But Diane, I want you to remind all of our participants as we call upon you. Diane, you shared with everyone last week about sharing
yes, the
positive.
rules.
Yes.
Sorry.
We just jumped right in here. So
I know. Sorry. So the rule is that if you come on and you have a positive thing to say, like, oh, I really like my BlindShell, I like how it does this, then I also want to hear, what do you think we can do to make it better? If you come on and say, I have an issue, a complaint, whatever, then I want you to end it with something positive about your BlindShell.
perfect. Thank you, Diane, for clarifying that. All right, I'm going to bring on Dan. Hi, Dan.
Oops. Hi, can you hear me?
Hi.
We hear
Yes.
My
Welcome.
question, thank you. I like these meetings. I don't have a BlindShell, but I do see the huge value of a device like that. My question is, I'm considering the ARX glasses. Is it true that you are going to support them, or did I misunderstand? The ARX.
Right. We're familiar with the ARX glasses. As far as when you say support, are you referring to is it going to work on together with the BlindShell? Is that what you're referring to?
Right, because if I use Ira, and I'd like to use Ira hands-free, I'm an iOS user, but right now the only option is Android. And I do use an Android phone at work, but I just find text entry sometimes really challenging. It's not like iOS where you can split tap and things like that. Plus, I'm a Braille user and I don't like the Braille support. And I'm just
Right.
trying to think of the best option, whether I should wait for ARX to get iOS or get an Android phone and put up with that, or consider the BlindShell.
Right. So yes, there is a collaboration between BlindShell and ARX, and that is in the works. It's well underway. I don't know if and when iOS is even on the table for ARX, and I
They
can't
said
speak to that.
next year.
Next year.
They
so,
said, yeah.
So, so yes. So I would, yes, it's definitely the collaboration is there. They've been working behind the scenes on that, and so that is definitely well underway.
Oh, that's great, because I could see some real pluses being able to, do keyboard input if you're in a hurry and trying to contact a Lyft driver or something like that. I could see some real pluses. I mean,
Absolutely.
I'm comfortable with touch screens, but I do think there's a place. I wish there was a product that had a touch screen on one side and a keyboard on the other, like, the old-fashioned flip phones, but I'm not aware of a product like that.
Were you saying touch and keyboard?
Right. I'm not aware of any product that you can open and type on a screen or a keyboard.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, maybe in the future.
Maybe, but there again, I have to determine if I have enough use cases for the BlindShell for myself, because I'm comfortable with a touch screen, but not everyone is, and I think this is a great option for a lot of people.
Absolutely.
Yes, it is. Thank you.
Well, you're welcome, and that's basically it.
Great.
Okay.
Well, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Appreciate coming on.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
All right, I am going to go to Deanna. Diana or Deanna? Welcome. Are you there, Deanna or Diana?
It's not me.
No, I know it's not you. Diana, are you there? Diana? Deanna? It seems like maybe you don't have a microphone. We will come back to you in just a few moments. Let's go ahead. I'm going to go to the caller that has the last 4 digits of 5292. Welcome.
Welcome. I mean, I'm sorry, my my BlindShell is ringing. That's funny. I have a couple of questions.
Welcome.
Thank you. I have a BlindShell, and what I want to know is a couple of things. First of all, I know they probably haven't fixed the jumping to the bottom of the list on everything, right? They haven't fixed that?
I'm going to comment on that. That is something that, yes, they have fixed. It has not been released yet because they are still testing it. But on my phone, it is 100% fixed.
Wonderful.
See,
my
Diane
other question,
has a super duper phone.
I guess so. She must have the beta, or she has the whatever.
Yes, I do.
Anyway, my other question is, what was my other question? Oh, I know before, if you had the timer, if you wanted to set the time, like for it to ring, if you were using the phone, it wouldn't go off. Does it still work that way? Now, maybe that was the one, the Blind Classic 1, but I don't think so.
Michael, do you have any experience with that? Have you played around with the timer at all?
1:30 p.m.
I have not actually.
Contact application.
That is a good question then.
So-
Internet browser.
Go
So,
ahead, Tom.
Allison, are you talking about the countdown timer that doesn't go off when you're using the phone, or are you talking about the alarm that doesn't go off when you're using the phone?
The countdown timer, like if you want it to go for 30 minutes and then it will ring.
Give me about 2 minutes and I will see if it's an issue.
Yeah.
Okay.
Look at this, live testing.
Awesome. Thank you, Michael. Thank you.
I mean, it works, but not if you're using any other thing on the phone.
You mean if you're talking on the phone, or if you could be doing anything else on the phone?
Anything else on the phone.
Okay, so Michael, go into your email or something else and try it.
I am setting up a
Activate
timer right
one of
now,
two.
so I'll get back to you guys shortly.
Okay. Thank
Thank you.
you.
All right, so I'm going to put you on mute right now. I apologize, I don't know your name, the caller. And I'm going to put you on mute right now, and I'm going to bring on another caller. All right, I'm going to bring on the caller that has the phone number ending in 8940. All right, Diane, do you remember the command to unmute if someone's dialing
Is it
in?
*6?
I believe that.
You
is
have
correct.
51.
*6 to unmute.
There we go. So on your phone, you could punch in the star and then the 6 and see if that will unmute you.
And I'm referring to the caller with last four of the phone number 8940. While that's taking place, I'm going to bring on another caller, and the caller this dialed in with the last four of 4737. There we go.
Hello.
Hi,
Hi.
welcome.
Hey, I don't have a BlindShell Classic 2 yet because I'm considering to get one. But I had the first one and it was all right. But on the second one, because I've been hearing about it, I was wondering, like, could you download like Pandora and like Uber and Uber Eats? Those
Great
type of apps.
questions.
So I'll let Barry take that
Yeah,
one.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. So as everyone out there may or may not know, BlindShell Classic 2 operates in a closed ecosystem. And we do that because we want to make sure that all of our applications function properly with its, the accessibility side. So we are currently in talks with multiple rideshare transportation applications. And so I just ask that you be a little bit more patient, and hopefully we'll be able to make some announcements in the near future. So it's something that is on the radar. We realize it's very important, and we are doing our best to bring as many practical applications that will significantly make things easier, specifically on the transportation side. So great question. So thank you.
How about the music streaming side?
The music streaming side as well. It's something that we are in talks as well, and we hope to share some details on that as well in the near future. I always tell everyone, the BlindShell Classic 2 today is an incredible phone, functionality, the features, accessibility, and there's no such thing as status quo at BlindShell, and we are continuously working to bring more and more features through practical applications that will bring great added value to your phone. So thank you
Perfect.
so much for that. Did you have any other questions with that person ending in 4737?
Does it support the AT&T SIM card?
Great question, Diane. I'm going to let you answer that one.
So right now, the phone is, it will work with T-Mobile. It's guaranteed to work with T-Mobile. However, we do have users who have configured their phones by changing some settings that they are able to use it with AT&T.
And the specific settings are within a classification called APN settings. And that is how, and we do know there are people out there who are successfully using their BlindShell Classic 2 with AT&T. And we hope to provide additional information on AT&T and others in the near future as well.
Yeah, so if you do get a BlindShell and you have AT&T, then you can contact us and we could see if we can find you the instructions on how to get it to work with AT&T.
So thank you. All right, Michael, you want to go ahead and share that feedback live?
Yeah, so just following up on Allison's question related to the minute timer, on the BlindShell Classic 2, I tested it twice, both while playing media and while just browsing the phone. The alarm did go off, so there wasn't any problems. Pressing the up or down button while the alarm was going off did not stop the alarm. I did press the back button. I think pressing the OK button would also stop it as well. But so it does work while you're using the phone.
Fantastic.
Awesome. Yep.
Thank you. Thank you for doing that quick testing there on the spot. I like that.
Now,
All
do you
right.
have a lanyard over there you could try to put on?
I do, but I don't have the tool.
Oh, okay.
All right, we're gonna go.
And I don't got fingernails.
All right, we're gonna go to caller ending in 8145. There you go.
Can you hear me?
We hear you.
Yes.
Hello.
Welcome.
I absolutely love everything on my BlindShell 2 Classic phone, but my favorite
Awesome.
feature is the YouTube. I love having access to everything on YouTube. I have two questions. Will the BlindShell ever support the glucometers, the Freestyle Libre or Dexcom apps?
Barry,
Yes.
I'll let you
So-
handle that one.
You'll let me handle that? Okay.
Yes.
So we are working to bring glucose monitoring and other healthcare applications to the BlindShell Classic 2 platform. Things in the healthcare space do take just a little more time than we would like. And so just know that we are working on that, and we hope to share some additional news in the near future. So great question. It's a common request. And
Yes, it is.
we are doing everything we can to expedite that.
And does anyone have any tips on, in the Google Outlook, which the camera in that is phenomenal, but on the food labeling, reading the food labels, I can't seem to get that to work. Does anyone use that? And maybe there's just something I'm not doing.
So I do use it. And again, I don't know if mine works better because it has an update to it, which would be something that's going to be coming out, with everybody else's phone. But what I found with it is that, you know how it always says, cannot detect object or cannot detect label, whatever it says.
Yes.
What I find is that I'm actually gonna open it up here. And it says, rotate the product. I find that if I just leave it in the same spot, it picks it up. Like, I don't know if it's working to find it, and then it does. Hold on, let me get to it here.
Ira Explore. Color indicator. Google Lookout.
There we go. I think it's on food beta right now, actually.
8. Change country. United. Sign in.
Okay.
Nature's Valley Cinnamon.
See,
Brown
I just
Sugar,
held it over and
Square.
it says Nature's
it
Valley
worked.
Cinnamon, blah, blah, blah.
Breakfast biscuits, cinnamon, brown
You'll
sugar.
hear like a little click. So it's not looking for a barcode. It's actually,
Oh, that's what I was trying to find, I guess.
Yeah.
I kept moving
Yeah,
it, trying to.
yeah, it's looking for, it's actually reading the package. Let me turn it up a little bit here. See.
Volume 10. No product in view. Belvita breakfast biscuits, cinnamon brown sugar 4 biscuits. Belvita breakfast biscuits, cinnamon brown sugar 4 biscuits.
So I'm hoping you guys can hear that.
We do. You're
It's
making us
Yeah.
hungry.
coming out good.
View.
Yeah,
No
so
product in view.
that's because I'm not showing you anything.
No product
So-
in view.
But
No product in view.
now I'm holding it up to something really small though, so it,
Product
Oh,
not
but-
recognized. Try rotating it to other sides. Product not recognized. Try rotating
I'm
it to
holding
other sides.
a really small little thing here, so I'm not
Like
sure
a
if it's
Hershey
even gonna
Kiss or something.
pick that.
Product
Yeah,
not
pretty much.
recognized.
I
Try
just grabbed
rotating it
something
to
from that
other
little
sides.
basket right here. But
Google Lookout.
you'll
Five
know
eleven.
when it finds it because you'll hear like a little snap, like it's almost like it's taking a picture of it and then it'll start to read what it is. So
Well,
my
I
thing
have
is
to
like,
say
if-
that everyone
go ahead.
who doesn't have Google Outlook on some device is really missing out. I mean,
agree.
I hate
Yeah.
to say about another product, but I have purchased the Orcam and some of those devices, and they're worthless compared to the Google Lookout because it tells you how to move the camera. It tells you move it to the left, move it to the right. You know, on that phone is if people should buy the phone just for that camera in the
I have a
Outlook.
tip for Google Lookout that might help you as well. That I've found to be helpful is experiment, as Diane was talking about, with holding the phone in one place and being able to see if it recognizes it, but also leverage something like Be My Eyes and Ira to help with basic orientation to make sure that the whole picture of the product is in shot. Because as Diane was explaining, Google Lookout doesn't scan barcodes. They leverage Google image search so they can be able to determine what the product is from an image of it. And it is a bit hit and miss in the beginning, but you're right. I use Google Lookout on multiple devices, especially when I'm in person doing like vendor shows and stuff like that, because it's just so quick once you get comfortable with using it.
Try rotating it to other
Yeah.
sides.
And also, you know, if it's a can, that's,
Arizona ginseng and honey
oh,
iced
so
green tea.
it's making a liar of me. It's just reading this can.
10. Volume 10.
Let's see if I can get it to do it again.
I was trying to find the barcode, so that's probably what I was doing wrong.
Arizona green tea, real sugar.
Arizona green tea. Okay, so
It's working
yeah,
wonderfully.
You just gotta play around
It
it.
is.
I hold it maybe 3-4 inches away from the object. If you were trying to look at like a box of something, show it the front of the box, not like the skinny top, but the front, so that it can see what it says on there.
That's great. While we're experimenting and talking about Google Lookout, maybe it's possible we have some users out there who are not familiar with Google Lookout. Diane, if you want to just go ahead and do a quick
Applications.
share with everyone what Google Lookout is, what it can do if you're not already understanding some of its incredible capabilities. I think it's worthwhile that we highlight that and just go through that one more time.
Yeah, so Google Lookout can be found in the app catalog. So if you haven't downloaded it, I highly recommend you do. When you first download it, you're going to have to go through some steps, like, because it'll explain each of the categories, and then you have to click OK on don't show this message again, and then you have to scroll down and hit OK on OK. Otherwise, every time you open it, you're going to get that message and it's going to frustrate you. So you got to clear out all of that registration kind of stuff. So when you open it, you're going to scroll down, you're going to go past sign in, recents, ignore all that stuff until you get to explore 1 of 5. So, because it has 5 components to it. So Explore will allow you to look around wherever you are. You're inside, outside. If you're outside, it'll say tree, house, whatever. If you're inside, it'll say, laptop, person, stuffed animal, whatever it sees, it'll say. It'll also read text in that mode. So you can actually scan some mail, you can scan a package, you can scan anything in the Explore mode. If you're in an office building and you're trying to find room 307, hold your camera up to each of the doors where the numbers are, and it'll read the numbers. So it's a great tool for that. There's also the food label reader. So yeah, it doesn't say barcode, it says food label. So it's actually reading the label of the package. There's also a currency reader. It'll tell you if you have a 5, a 10, whatever bill you have. There's a text reader, which is will read text. So that's another way to look at your mail. Then there's a document reader. So if you have an actual letter, it'll help guide you so that it can get the best picture of that document, and then it'll start to read that. So it's a great app.
It's very powerful. I'm glad we re-highlighted this, because it's possible that some people don't realize the capabilities that the Google account has on the BlindShell Classic too. So thank you so much. I apologize, I don't know your name, but the caller ending in 8145. I wanted to say thank you very much for bring that up.
Is she still with us, or is she?
Yes.
back
Yes.
in?
Yes. Yeah. No.
I'm
Could
here.
you also,
My name's Karen.
Karen.
Hi, Karen.
Thank you so much, Karen.
So
Appreciate
what could you say needs to be worked on, or what recommendation would you give us?
I really couldn't give you any, because I just love every feature I've learned to use. I've had my phone since May. I haven't had a lot of help. I mean, I got on some of the email lists and things, and I've just figured everything out and learned to use it. I had a little problem with getting on Amazon Alexa last week, but Diane helped me, and I love that feature. I'm just worried, I don't really have a good concept of how much storage is in the phone, and I'm afraid maybe I've downloaded too many apps and things like that, but I guess it'll tell me if, it's out of room. Or
It will. It has 16 gigabytes of storage, and then it's got the expansion capacity of 128 gigs with an SD card. But I think it should be fine. So no recommendations for any apps?
No, because you're working on, you said, some of the food delivery and the medical things, and it sounds like everybody's working on everything good.
Awesome.
So you can, if you use Ira, you can use Ira to call a Lyft for you. So that's kind of a way you can get Lyft on your BlindShell.
I haven't tackled Ira yet, but I do have, the Be My Eyes that I'm using.
Okay.
And just to make sure you're aware, Karen, that all BlindShell Classic 2 users are entitled to 200 free Ira credit minutes. So,
and they do not expire.
They do not. Yeah. So
even if I never give them my credit card, I would have those minutes.
That is correct.
Yeah, there's no credit card
till I ran out of them.
That is correct. That is correct. And on top of that, you can use Ira at no charge at their access partners like Starbucks, McDonald's, Target, Wegmans.
Yeah. Walgreens.
So,
I may tackle it, download that.
They don't even start taking out of your 200 minutes either, because you do get 5 minutes every 24 hours for free with Ira as well.
Yeah.
So I'm glad we
and that
brought
runs
that up.
till the end of the year, doesn't it? Or
well,
you can sign up for them.
Yeah. No, I think you have to register by October 31st.
Yeah. So what I would encourage everyone to do, if you haven't already started using your Ira minutes, just go ahead, download the app from the app library on your phone and just make that initial call. And then this way you're in the system and you'll have your minutes.
Yeah, you don't want to give up your 200 minutes.
They're too valuable.
Yeah.
Now you say you get 5 minutes every 24 hours. Do they accumulate if you don't use them, or they disappear each day?
They disappear.
Yeah. The only
Okay.
thing that will stay that does not expire is your 200 minutes. You can, those will
That's an awful
not
lot of
expire.
minutes too.
It is.
It is, yes.
Yeah. So I encourage everyone to go ahead.
Thank you all.
You're welcome. Thank you, Karen. Thank you.
Thank you.
And you know, we encourage you to utilize those minutes. They're there for you. We are past our time of 45 minutes, but I think we're going to go ahead and we're going to try to take 2 more callers, and I'm going to bring on Matthew here. And if we can try to keep it brief, this way we can try and get to one more after. Matthew, if you can just unmute yourself. And I am also going to bring on.
Can you guys hear me okay?
We hear you loud and
Yeah, we
clear.
can.
Welcome. Thank you.
Okay. I don't have a BlindShell, but I do first off want to say that this program is definitely very resourceful. My question though has to do with the I know this has come up. It hasn't come up in a while, but it's come up on the mailing list a few times where people have had issues with the when they dictate, they have issues with their device saying no network connection. I'm curious if that's something that BlindShell is aware of, and if it's I know they've been, you know, they be on a Wi-Fi connection, and apparently it even with a good connection they have that problem. I'm just curious if BlindShell is aware of that, if it's something they're looking into, or.
Yes,
Absolutely.
so they are aware of that, and I do believe that the dictation feature is going to be updated in a future update. I don't know, Barry or Michael, if you have any other.
Yeah, I think we're talking about within the 30 to 60 day range. I think that's what we're hearing.
Yeah, I was just curious because I've had some people. I mean, I've heard of some people on the list that have had some problems with that, and I was seeing as I hadn't heard lately of anybody. I'm not saying people haven't had the problem. I'm just saying I haven't heard of anybody that's still having the problem. So I was just curious if it's you know, if it was something they either is already fixed server side, or if it was something that they're working on. Or I was just kind of curious because I'm using an Android phone, so and I really have I just enjoy being on these lists and learning more about it.
Well, we
Because
thank you.
You know, and I think that it, as people have said, I think this is a great opportunity, you know, for people that are visually impaired but don't want to learn a touch screen or can't learn a touch screen or have other reasons, but they need a real touch tone. I don't want to say touch tone, but a touch button phone. This is, you guys are doing it. You guys have done an awesome job with that. And I want to thank you guys for having that option, and thank BlindShell for that, because, you know, I think it's great that they're able to at least attempt to bring the playing field, you know, bring it to be, you know, bring apps that maybe you can get on the Play Store. You know, I know, you know, they can at least try to do something where they can you can get certain things, like as someone pointed out, you know, ride sharing services, food ordering services, different things that people would use their phone for that a normal person on a touchscreen phone would do. So I applaud that.
Thank you.
Well,
Thank
we
you,
thank
Matthew. We
you.
appreciate it.
Yes.
Yeah, we
Yep.
appreciate
You're quite
that.
welcome.
And I just want to say, as a whole, whether BlindShell USA, BlindShell from the Czech Republic, we're all listening very closely to all the feedback that we receive. We know where things need to go as far as what applications need to be prioritized, and we are working and doing our best behind the scenes to move those forward and to bring as much functionality and enhancing the experience on a daily basis. So thank you, Matthew, for pointing that out. And I want to really, again, thank everyone also for being part of this call today. We are going to take one last call, and I am going to go to Terry, and I'm going to allow Terry to speak now. Hi, Terry.
Hear me now?
We hear you.
Hi, Terry.
Okay, first of all, what I wanted to say is Guidelines and Gadgets has a like a pouch for different sized phones. So that would take the away the problem, like you put it around your neck. So if you can't put the lanyard on the phone, you can put it in a pouch and carry it around your neck. The other thing, okay, if you're not scanning barcodes, how would a person get hold of the nutritional and cooking instructions on these food packages?
They won't with the food label part, but if you switch it to one of the ones that read text, you can get it. So if you switch it to text or document, you'll be able to get that information. It'll actually read it from the box
right now. And so, and I use the ID Mate Summit, but that thing's gonna die someday.
Yeah, I have one of those too, and it's like there's a lot of stuff that I buy that is not in that. So that's an issue too. Yeah,
this is going to be great. I'm trying to decide, whether to go with the new version or get the Hable and the iPhone. And I just am not good with the iPhone. So I think this is going to be my route. Thank you very much.
No problem. Thank you, Terry. I just want to say thank you to everyone who participated today. Another wonderful talking points. As a reminder, talking points are recorded. They can be found on blindshellusa.com under the help section under talking points, or I think it's under about, somewhere around there. Also available on YouTube. Please look out for those great additional updates that are scheduled to ping on your phone next week. And we look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks on the next Talking Points. For those of you who had your hand raised and we were unable to speak with you, look forward to speaking with you next time. Of course,
you can always email.
Yeah, there you go. You can always send to info@blindshellusa.com, info@blindshellusa.com, and we were happy to speak with you there. I also want to give a special thanks again, of course, to Michael for joining us and being one of our hosts as well, and for doing some quick technical support right there on the scene. And we're saying so long. So thanks so much, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.